Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a request and it's last week's video, which is the Audiosonic neck and shoulder massage, but this time I'm going to continue talking through it. So thank you for the lovely feedback, and it's really nice to know that you enjoy my commentary. But again, where possible, I'll do the alternative where there's minimal chat. So this is not going to be me talking you through it as it happens. This is a voiceover. But it will still be useful, I think, for you to know why we're using the Audiosonic and exactly the benefits of it as you're using it, especially if you're not trained in any massage and you want to use it on someone in your family or a friend who's maybe got an ongoing ailment, or also if you want to use it on yourself. So today it's neck and shoulders. But again, we've got to be careful. You don't work on any areas that feel tender. It really is to focus on the tissues, the muscles. And again, we always want to make sure that we avoid the spinal area. You do not want to work on that spinal area, but you do have a large working area that you can focus on and you can take your time on it. And the great thing with the Audiosonic is that you can use it as frequently or infrequently as you like, and you can change the frequency on it so that it's more of a vibration, and there's a very gentle heating up to it too. It's not a deliberately heating piece of kit, it's just as you use it and as it vibrates and works on the tissues, there's a heat build up. So shoulders, neck, avoiding the spine, and hopefully you'll find it just as relaxing as usual. So what we'll do is, again, you would turn on the machine. Now if you're working on someone else, it's always a good idea to have your free hand just touching the skin. And the theory is that it gives a little bit of support, and it also means that they are soothed and relaxed because there's the human touch there. And they also don't need to worry too much about what's happening next. If one hand isn't on the skin, it's not the end of the world. But sometimes if you've got a nervous, jumpy client, or they're not the most relaxed, maybe they are in a bit of pain, then sometimes not knowing where the other hand is or what you're doing can make them a bit edgier. So offering that little bit of support with your free hand can be the difference between completely switching off and relaxing and trusting you and feeling a little bit edgy. So I've got quite a few of these videos on the channel, and the good thing is you can either heat up the tissues manually, so you could give either your neck a little bit of a rub, or if you're doing it for someone else, warm it up. You can use a little bit of oil, but you don't have to. And then as you can see, we've turned it on, and it's just small circular movements, and there's a very gentle hum to the machine as the vibrations do their work. And in different areas you can feel tension. It's also good if the person is not completely zoned out or asleep. You can ask them, you can have a commentary. Does this feel sore? Is it, now you'll know what I mean when I say this, is it a good sore, or is it a please don't touch that hurts sore? And what we mean by good sore is, does it hurt to work on that muscle, but you know that we're helping to loosen it, and you can tell that we're easing it off and pushing out that lactic acid that's causing the pain? Or does it feel so tender that we have to really release any pressure and watch the tension? But you can see that we're doing small circles. But truth be told, with this piece of kit, you don't even have to do that if you don't want to. You can move left to right, up and down, in lines. But when we're trained, a lot of the time it's easier to work in circles because it's mimicking your friction moves. And other times it also allows us to gauge the area, gauge the tension, and also feel for any knots and nodules. Moving around the shoulder joint can feel very good, because again, sometimes you know there's pain there, but other times you don't realise that it's tight. And then those strips of muscle that are on the shoulder blades, the scapula, you can work very carefully to make sure you cover it all. Or again, because it's not a salon treatment, if you're doing it at home, just be guided by where you want to work. You don't even have to balance out the areas if you choose not to. You could have one set area that gives you issues, and it could be up to you just to concentrate in that area. No one says that you have to do a full treatment and balance out the entire area, but it does feel good and it can be beneficial. Now, purely because of the camera, I've changed hands. So I'm now using my right hand. It's obvious to me, I'm sure it's obvious to you, that I'm not right-handed, but it felt comfortable enough to do it, and it's not doing anyone any harm. But normally you would just stick with the same hand, unless, as we've said before, you're lucky enough to be ambidextrous. But I can see that even though it was comfortable, I think you can tell that that's not my usual working hand. But again, it's all about the balance in the treatment, and because I didn't want to completely block it, that's what I did for us here today. Now, because we're moving the Audiosonic in circles, working on the skin, encouraging the blood to the surface, we've got a little bit of erythema, and that's normal. Now, remember what I've said before, if it's patchy redness, if it's a bit splodgy, that's fine. That is normal blood coming up to the surface, that is fine. But if it goes excessively hot, extremely red, and it looks irritated, and the person that's receiving the treatment says it feels irritated, then you might be best stopping, because you might be overstimulating the area, and that's excessive or excess erythema. But a little bit of redness, and it doesn't have to be even, it can be quite blotchy, that's normal. But what we're doing here is we're balancing out, and you can see on the Audiosonic that you've got the dial at the back. So when you move that dial, that increases your vibrations. So again, with the frequency, you can turn it up, turn it down, and you've also got your buttons on the handle. So you've always got options. You can build up, you can adapt, you can change it throughout. I'd say though, maybe no more than 20 minutes. I think after 20 minutes, you probably won't want the treatment. But in addition to that, it'll have done really what it needs to do. It'll have boosted the circulation, it'll have loosened the muscles. The vibrations work a little deeper into the tissues than you could do manually. And again, it's not just for muscular aches, it's for lots of different ailments too. A lot of people that have got arthritic conditions, again, you've always got to be careful. Just because it says that it helps to treat it doesn't mean that it'll work for you. And if you're in any doubt, make sure that you check with your doctor, just in case there's a reason why you should not be using a piece of kit. But overall, I hope you enjoy this, and as always, leave me some comments if you'd like me to do any other styles of massage for you on the channel.